but it constantly. Oh, it's live. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We are back. Keyboard Boys are back live in your face and whatever else. I didn't work on the tagline. I don't give a shit. Anyway, welcome. Appreciate you guys watching this and everything, watching the podcast and the podcast. People that were asking when we're coming back today, like right now. So what's up? I'm Eddie Law. That's Fred Kirby. That's just Racaba. Just coming to shoot the shit. Starting off here talking about a little bit of fight news. First of all, kicking off with Woodley versus Till. That's set for UFC 228 in Madison Square Garden. Now, Fred, this is a weird one because there's some people that have been complaining. First of all, there's a lot of people that hate Colby Covington. Totally get it. But now that he got the interim belt, the word is as soon as Woodley and Till get that gate locks behind them, Colby's getting stripped. What do you think about that whole situation there, Fred?
Man, this shit drives me crazy. Who gives a fuck? I mean, I guess maybe because Colby won't get the title. Look, man, Colby's gonna fight the winner of this fight. We all know that, right?
Yeah.
Like we all agree that no doubt, no matter what happens between Darren Till and Tyron Woodley, Colby's up next. So what's the matter? Like the only thing I can think, the only difference will be if they strip him of his fake ass belt. Anyways, I mean, he talks a lot of shit, but let's keep it funky for a second and a half. That was the interim belt, bruh. Like all due respect, that was the interim belt. You was never the real champ, anyways. And other than not getting a piece of the pay-per-view for being the champ, I guess. What the fuck does it matter? Colby, you're injured. Goddamn champ's back. He wants to fight. You will get the winner of this fight regardless. I really don't understand what the big pickle's about. Like, I mean, I guess people were saying they could have just made Tyron wait and fight Colby here in 2 or 3 months when he would be ready. Fuck that in the ass.
Couple weeks.
You had surgery.
A couple weeks, actually. It was like an extra 2-3 weeks that he was asking for.
Colby was asking for?
Yeah.
It was only 2 weeks?
Yeah, like 2-3 weeks, like to a different event or something like that. But it was an event that was just later on, and they wanted to fill the November card with a paper with a title. So it's shady, but I agree with Fred. I mean, it was a fake belt to begin with, basically, and so the UFC can really do whatever they want, whether they want to strip him, give him the belt, give it to Darren Till, and then have the 2 belts on the poster, whatever. Who cares? It doesn't really matter,
And listen, let's keep it funky for a minute. I like Colby. He's cute, right? He went from a complete ass fuck loser to somebody that we actually all care about. Bra fucking go, okay? I get it. On the fucking flip side, he's not the most deserving candidate ever to deserve a UFC title shot that hasn't gotten it. You know what I mean? There are guys out there that put in way more work than Colby that haven't got the title shot too. So, I see Colby's point. He's got a point. On the same token, bruh, it ain't like you've been beating #1 contenders for a month of Sundays or no shit like that. Like, there are people that have had a lot longer road to the title shot than Colby. You low-key talked your way into it anyways. The win against Damian Maia was cute, and the win against RDA was great. Shocked the shit out of me. But quite frankly, those are the only 2 major wins you got. It's not – I don't feel that bad for Colby. Right. And he'll probably still get a shot at the belt before the year's up. So what the fuck? Quit your belly aching, bro.
Yeah. All right, Jesse. What do you think about this? And it's a let's say Wood. Okay. Well, you know what? Let me backtrack a little bit. Jesse, what do you expect from this fight, Woodley versus Till? Because a lot of people. Okay, I was one of them thinking. I thought that for Woodley, the better matchup is Till. That's just what I think. What do you think?
I think from Till, nothing. Actually, I'm more worried about this situation of him missing weight, because remember, he missed weight last time, and he's had trouble making that weight before. Although I think he's missed weight twice, maybe, or just once.
I think just once. To be fair,
once, and there were circumstances out of his control, allegedly that we don't, nothing was confirmed. But you're right, he did technically miss.
Right, and his thing is that he likes to be big for the weight class. He likes to cut it close, So we have a little bit of of an asterisk of can he make the weight? Okay, and honestly, Darren Till's not that impressive to me. He hasn't beat anybody of importance, in my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, if you can point to somebody that he's beaten that's very good, sure, I'll take it, but he hasn't. I mean,
Oh,
who?
the fuck, Cowboy?
Oh, I'm sorry. A 155er moving up to 70. He beat that guy.
He said somebody
okay.
very good, you cute cocksucker. He did beat somebody very good, very fucking impressively, at least just the once.
Anyway, back to my point. Hasn't beat anybody of importance at 170. Let me make that asterisk there for Mr. Fred Kirby. A true 170er. All right. So I mean, it's whatever. We're gonna get this fight. I think Tyron Woodley is gonna run over Darren Till just because of the way he makes these fights boring, slow. And we saw what happened with Darren Till against Wonder Boy. Not very exciting, not very explosive. Right. Didn't really know how to handle that slow pace. Still won, but I mean, it wasn't good at all. And I think that's basically what's going to happen in this fight. I just think he's going to get outpointed by Woodley. So, whatever.
So for Darren Till, here's the last his entire basically UFC run. He's still undefeated, technically 17-0. First fight was against Wendell de Oliveira Marquez back in 2015, where he knocked him out in the second round. Then he had a draw against Nicholas Dalby. Then he beats Justin Ayari by decision, Bojan Velikovic by decision, and then the last two fights is where his fame has come up, right? Or his hype is blown up. That finish of Cowboy in the first round, and then just beating Wonder Boy, just beating him alone was enough to get him into this title hype. So first we're supposed to have Kobe in there. Now we're gonna have Darren Till. Let's say Fred Woodley retains. Let's say he beats Darren Till. I think he's going to. I'm honestly picking Woodley in this fight. Let's say he beats Darren Till. If you're Woodley, what is next for you?
Or is that
Colby?
Colby, yeah, dog.
No. That's what I'm saying. Because okay, maybe I should back it up. My prediction is going to be simple. Woodley's going to beat Till, and I think he's going to go the way of Daniel Cormier. Let me get that 185 champ. Let me get the super fight. I think that's what he's going to ask for.
Listen,
I mean, he might not deserve it, but I think that's what he's going to ask for.
Well, listen, might Tyron say that? Sure. Let me send out an APB to Rihanna that I wouldn't mind hitting that shit from behind while we're all just fucking shooting shit out that ain't never going to fucking ever happen in 8 billion fucking year. I mean, he can say that, but he's no fucking DC. 85's got contenders. He ain't doing a goddamn thing but fighting fucking Colby Cheese Covington next. That's the only fucking thing that either one of these characters are getting after this. Unless for some weird chance fucking George Rush St. Pierre says he's coming back to welterweight and whoever you know what I mean? Unless something fucking crazy happens, he's fighting Colby Covington next for sure.
Yeah, real quick on the YouTube comments. Shout out to UC and Connor Ryan on here. UC saying kind of sucks for Colby, but it is what it is. The fight business, right? And then he says if anyone could beat T Wood, I think it might be Till, but can he make weight? Which was Jesse's point. And then,
I do agree with that statement too. I think that Darren Till's got a lot better of a shot than you guys think he does.
Yeah, Connor Ryan says I'm pulling for Till. And then it says, maybe I'm dreaming, but I've got high hopes for that fight. Look, man, okay, as far as high hopes, I have no high hopes for a Woodley fight. Last 3 Woodley fights that I've seen, I had high hopes for. I'm like, oh fuck, no, dude, shit.
Look, I agree with what Fred is saying in essence, but I also think that Fred, infinite universes, in one of these infinite universes, you are probably hooking up with Rihanna. And in one of those, probably Tyron Woodley is going to challenge for the 185 title very soon. But living on this universe that we live in today, I think that Tyron Woodley has a couple contenders coming up the ranks at 170. Like we mentioned, Colby Covington. He's gonna cry. He's gonna make a big scene. He's gonna make a big fuss. He's already gotten under Tyron Woodley's skin. So I don't see Tyron Woodley wanting to leave a division without handling that business. And then you still got RDA. You still got a couple other competitors coming up in the rankings that are deserving. You still got what's his name, the Nigeria Nightmare, Usman. Also on a pretty good run. You've got a lot of contenders there, and I think this isn't the 205 division where there's nothing. There's literally no contenders that you just don't have anybody to fight against. I mean, he's got plenty of people to fight against and keep him busy, And at 185, I mean, we still got a lot of things to kind of clear up in that whole division. So
there's a queue there too. So yeah.
By the way, UC says Rihanna is hot as fuck though.
Exactly. That's why she ain't banging me, and that's why. And Tyron Woodley ain't no fucking Connor or DC. And this,
right. I mean, he was pulling for that Bisping fight when Michael Bisping was still fighting. He was still the champ, and then he wanted GSP. I think Woodley's just gonna miss out on any money fights, honestly. But you're fighting.
I don't think so.
Garden.
Man, here's the reality. Woodley, you ain't a money fight. You're the ugly chick at the club. That's a fact.
Damn, that's
God.
cool.
Tyron Woodley is like your plan C at the club. You know what I mean? Like, the only way that bitch ends up in a sex video is if she's banging somebody else who's a plan A. The only way Tyron Woodley is ever going to end up in a money fight is if he's standing across the cage from Conor McGregor or George St. Pierre.
But to that end, don't you think that Tyron Woodley could still mess around and
the internet gods took your voice for that horse shit you were about to spew.
Are you there?
Yeah, phone call.
So what you're saying?
I'm just saying that I think there's still time for him to find himself in one of those fights. I think, I could see him, GSP coming back and him taking that fight. Or even Connor wanting to be a 3 division champion and, hitting him up for a fight. So
maybe
I still think there's time for Tyron Woodley to make money fights. I think he's just pushing too hard. I think that's what we're all kind of pushing back against, that he pushes so hard for these fights, knowing that he just doesn't deserve it, like Fred said earlier.
By the way, Joey Tremendous, what up, Joey? Says Woodley has to roofie host at the club.
Ouch.
Or just show him one of his fights. Yeah, well,
Woodley probably gets bitches, to be honest with you. He just don't got a lot of fans in the MMA world. He might get a bunch of pussy back in St. Louis, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, he ain't really selling pay-per-views, Jack.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, let's move on to another fight that was announced. I think yesterday, the day before. Romero taking on Paulo Costa, set for UFC 230. Here's my problem with it. It's at 185. And Romero clearly he's now having like real trouble making that weight. Jesse, your thoughts on that fight and whether or not you're worried about Yoel Romero making weight too?
Maybe. I think this is the test. If he can make the weight, beat this guy, you give him a title shot. If he can't and he cannot win this fight, then he definitely has to move up or retire. He's getting to that age where it's going to be over soon. So this is it.
I don't give a fuck, Fred, if he lands a backwards fucking spinning crescent kick. If he don't make weight, his funny ass goes up to 205. I mean, he has to make weight. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care how dominant his performance is. It's enough with the dominant performances over fucking riding his missed weight cuts. Bro, you got to make fucking weight. Then
how about this, Fred? He misses weight, puts on a good performance, takes out the young, hungry lion, and gets a shot at the 205 belt. Automatically to move up, but he gets a title shot.
No. Not at the belt. What the fuck? Like, number one contender, maybe a top guy, but he missed fucking weight. Goddamn.
Okay, is anybody
missing weight? Like that changes the narrative, man, for the guys that push through and make that. You can't, like, we can't just keep letting motherfuckers miss weight
and then move on.
Yeah, man. I mean, goddamn it. It's the same thing with steroids. Motherfuckers get caught cheating now. We just wait for them to serve out the suspension and act like it never happened.
All right, okay. Wait. Sorry, Jesse. Go ahead. Finish your point.
No. I was just like, my thing is that his performances have outweighed his misses of weight, right? Like it's exactly what Darren Till. He missed weight, but he still gets a title shot. Yoel Romero missed weight, won, still got a title shot. But I think that if you force him to move up, whether he wins in a dominant way or whatever, but if he wins in a dominant fashion, you still put him at the top of the queue at 205, especially because there's nothing happened up at 205. There's nobody. Can you name me one of the top 205ers besides Gustafsson?
Yeah, fucking Corey. I got the worst nickname in sports, Anderson. That's not the point. Fuckers are fighting at 205. I didn't see it. But that cute little prick Anthony Smith just knocked out Shogun. Now I realize Shogun's 142, but still, he was in there. His name's Shogun, and he got fucking starched in the first round. It's
whoa! The disrespect of Shogun. He was on a 4-fight win streak.
Listen, that goes right back to your point about how weak 205 is. Shogun ain't been good since Hector was a pup, and Hector's on his last leg, Jack. I have no idea how Shogun was still ranked. Is Lil Nog still up there?
Like, yeah, I think so. Jesus I think he's like 10 or 11 on their rankings.
Okay, we probably should stop talking about this because I'm going to ruin my point. The point is, though, things are actually still happening at 205. Look, I agree with you. He should be towards the top of the line, but not right in a title shot. I mean, let him fight Gus. Look, let him fight fucking Anthony Smith. All jokes aside. I mean, dude did knock out Shogun. He is 2-0. He's coming over a knockout over Rashad. Who hits Rashad and Shogun, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The last two fights.
Okay. Anyway, I don't give a fuck. It's still 2 wins over 2 former champions at 205. You take what you can get. Yoel, you come up, you fight him. Quite frankly, all things considered, that should low-key be a gimme fight for Yoel anyways. I hate to do it.
No, not really.
Well, but you know what I'm saying, though. Like, I mean, he's got these 2 wins, but you can make the argument that both of them was well past their prime, and Yoel's not quite that yet. So do something like that, but not an immediate title shot. I mean, he should be up there. 205 is fucking shallow as shit. So your point's not mistaken, but you know, not right into a title shot.
Well, right. And the other thing is that you have to remember Anthony Smith is also a guy who's moving up from 185 as well. Into 5. So I think it's more of a fair fight than a lot of people are thinking. You know, I think this is one of those, what was it, Bisping and GSP. You know, people thought GSP was going to be outmatched because he was a smaller guy, but in reality, they're kind of both around the same size and everything. So it was a much more fair fight than people thought.
You know what? On a side note, quickly, before we get on to whatever the fuck we're talking about next, I really do think they should take a fucking baseball approach with missed weight cuts. 3rd time you're out. I don't give a shit what the story is. I don't care if, all due respect, your goddamn dog died the day before your weight cut. You get 3. So if you missed weight that 3rd time, I don't give a fuck what weight division you're fighting at. We are forcing you to move up. Fucking period. So do with it as you will. Darren Till's only missed weight 1 time. You got 2 more, big dog. Take them whenever you want to, but after that, I don't give a fuck if you're the champ. You got to give the fucking belt up and head up, period. Maybe that'll scare motherfuckers a little bit. Like, you get on that 2nd strike, it's like, all right, Jack, we got to fucking make weight, for real.
All right, let's talk about the other half of this fight. Paulo Costa, up-and-comer. He wins this fight. That's a hot name right now. That's the next guy, right?
Is he not the young Vitor? Is it just me, or is that who he reminds me of? Just like a young Vitor. I mean, he's full of muscle, devastating striker, maybe a little bit more conservative with his output, but he really just reminds me of a young Vitor, man.
Dude, the second that this fight was announced, immediately Twitter exploded. Social media as a whole exploded. Like, keep USADA as far away from this fight as possible. Any worries on that for Divvy?
Say what?
Hold up, let me turn. All right. No, I say, are you worried at all about USADA fucking this fight up?
I mean, nah, man, you can't have it both ways. Of course I am, but I mean, you can't be like, keep them away, man. You know, I hate that shit. Either fucking we want it that way or we don't. And if we didn't have it that way, everybody be fucking crybabies about the cheater. So, God damn it, you can't have it both ways. Look, man, here would be my advice. What's the prick's name? I'm calling him Borachina, right?
Yeah, Borachina, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care that he changed it. I'm calling him Borachina. Here's my advice to Borachina. Don't get caught.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit if you cheat the whole fucking time. You look fantastic. You're probably going to get a fucking deal with the Brazilian polo after this or whatever the fuck. Just don't get caught. Take the right shit, the right supplements, fucking hang out under the... Ask John Jones about hanging out on the ring when they come. He pulled it off one time. So just don't get fucking caught. I'm not blaming. We can't do away with USADA. I don't want to lose this fight, but fuck, man. You're going to cheat. Be good at it.
Connor Ryan asking. All right, well, shout out to Raider Jet. What up? Connor Ryan is asking, has Costa ever missed weight? I don't think he has.
No, he hasn't missed weight. He's good. But, you know, I have a problem with Costa. Sure. And just the fact that he's kind of a very, how could I say, a very conservative Brazilian, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Is that would that be the correct term? He hates gay people. He hates gay people. He would want them to all die, and he believes
really?
that. Oh yeah. Oh, you have to go on his Twitter page and see the rants that he does about homosexuals, and
super
he's
Christian
very,
super Christian type character.
More like just very Brazilian, because Brazilians are very well known to be anti-homosexual people. They have groups of people that go around at night and kill gay people. So yeah, he's very.
It's real.
Yeah, I think that ties back to the whole God thing, though.
God
I think
damn.
they think that Jesus hates the gays. So,
well, look, man, I think Paulo Costa might be afraid that he is gay. Who knows? I feel like people that are I think people that are like homophobic are a little afraid they might be.
Listen,
wait. He
does have a nice body and he's really good looking. I'm just saying.
He probably gets hit on a lot.
Isn't that kind of the thing? Like, guys only work out that much and look like that for other guys because women really don't care about that.
No,
that kind of the rub?
Is that what your wife tells you?
hey.
No, that's not actually the case, my dude.
Do you see me running? Do you see me?
Jesse putting in work, dog.
Fair enough. Yeah, but no, that's bullshit. That's bullshit.
All right, boys. That is fucking funny though. All right. Moving on to talk about let's talk about Nick Newell real quick, actually, since it just happened yesterday. Nick Newell gets a shot in basically to get a UFC contract with the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, and does not look great. Took on I think his name is Alex Munoz, right? Out of Alpha.
Yep.
Team Alpha Fail, as certain people will call it. And he basically, I mean, other than that one flying knee he landed, he kind of got dominated, right? So makes you wonder, like, a lot of people, were like, oh, he's going to make the UFC, he's going to make it. I was one that said, no, he's not. And, it's unfortunate that you kind of pin it to that missing hand, right? But I don't know. I watched the whole fight and I thought it was, I just felt sad for the guy. You know what I'm saying, Jesse?
Yeah. I don't pin it on his lacking of a hand. I just think that his skill level is just not there, man.
You think he's his ceiling already?
I think so. I think when he went up against Justin Gaethje, you kind of saw that pressure that people can put on him. He just can't handle that pressure. He kind of wilts under a very strong pushback. When he's doing the damage, getting behind you, choking you out and stuff like that, he's a front runner basically.
Right.
And if he's not at the front, of the race, he's all the way in the back losing it. So, I just think that his skill level was never there. Me personally, I was hoping that he would win it just because it's a feel good story.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't attribute it to the hand.
Okay.
I just think his skill level is just not there. You look at everything he does, it's just not as good as it's not as sharp and it's not as good as it could be.
I think he took a lot of damage, and Connor Ryan saying on the YouTube comments, looked like he might have gassed early. I think so too. I think he tried to finish that fight impressively and quickly, and when he couldn't do it with that, with that knee that he landed, when he couldn't do it, it was kind of like, oh shit, it's gonna be a long one. Meanwhile, Munoz is, he's a wrestling coach at Team Alpha Male. He did what he was supposed to do, wrestled the fuck out of that dude and beat him. So he did move around a lot too. But Fred, what are your thoughts on this whole thing with Nick Newell?
Well, I actually have not caught this fight yet, but obviously I heard that Nick Newell lost. I knew who Nick Newell was. I did hear that the cat he was fighting was a beast. My thoughts on this. Sometimes this little Tuesday Night Contender Series push through thing ain't going to work. Because, listen, man, hindsight's 20/20, but now what they should have done with Nick Newell is just let the cute little prick fight in the UFC and get the ratings. I mean, because this idea that like, oh, well, let him fight on the Tuesday Night Contender Series, so if he really gets mollywopped real bad, it won't look bad on the UFC.
Right.
True, because the UFC don't promote the Tuesday Night Contender Series because the president of the fucking company's name isn't in the title of the fucking show. You think that if Nick Newell would have got his eyeball popped out on there, it would have been that much better for the brand? No.
It'd have been bad.
It would have been bad regardless. If he would have gotten that cage with anything remotely, related to the UFC and took a fucking vicious beating, it would have been horrible. Now, of course, the dude can fight, so he put up a fight and nothing like that happened. What I'm saying is at this point, they'd have been better off just throwing him on a fucking, Fox Sports 1 portion of a card, or a you know, the headliner of a fight pass of one of these week pay-per-views or some shit like that, because he had some steam a little bit, you know what I mean, as much as any other character floating around outside the UFC. But again, that's hindsight. If he would have won, it would have worked perfectly, like the Greg Hardy character. So, but that's my point. Every once in a while, this whole thing isn't going to work, and they're going to, you know, end up burning a prospect with it.
But let me ask you this: do you think that this was all just to get ratings to Fight Pass? Because I figured that this show must have done good numbers. This one and the Greg Hardy one, you know, both of those were very high profile. A lot of people were talking about them. And you have to remember, this promotion is separate from the UFC. It has nothing to do with the UFC. It's using Dana White's own promotional license. So it's completely separate from the UFC. So I think a lot of people were like you, Fred. Why don't you just give them a shot, put them on the undercard somewhere? And I think this was just to be able to promote this, you know, quote unquote company that Dana White has.
Yeah. Well, I can definitely dig that, but listen, let's not play coy. It's definitely, it might not be under the UFC's name, but these pricks are heading to the UFC. They're not heading to Bellator. I mean, they're definitely in the same fucking stratosphere here.
Yeah, and I know someone just asked on the let's see, Connor Ryan asked who got the contract. There was 3 contracts given out last night. It was Jim Crute, Sadiq Yusuf, and Jeff Hughes, and then Chase Hooper was signed to a developmental deal. So 3.5, I guess. But yeah, there was 3 contracts last night, but it wasn't to Alex Munoz. But in Raiders says Munoz looked good. He looked great, honestly. He looked pretty good for not having fought in like 2 years or something like that. Like he hadn't fought in almost 2 years, so he didn't look bad at all, man. And you know, as far as Nick Newell, man, I just think he hit his ceiling when he was in when we used to call it was he in PFL?
World Series of Fighting.
Yeah.
Right, World Series of Fighting. When he was in there, I think it's where he hit his ceiling. And I didn't think, you know, even if he had made the UFC, I don't think he could take on a top 10.
Well, of course not. Of course not. But goddamn, again, let's not play fucking stupid here. He's got a baby hand. That shit was fucking cute, and it was a seller. He was actually kind of kicking ass. They could have used him for some ratings. I mean, listen, there's a reason why they put that motherfucker on that portion of whatever the fuck, because he was good for ratings. It was an interesting story, no matter how you cut it. Huh?
He was the last fight he was the main event, right? Basically.
He was main
Fuck
event.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he could have walked onto a UFC card and done well. I mean, ratings wise, at least. Like, he was a very fuck. I think they did a goddamn Brian Gumble did a real sports piece on that prick. I think. Many other fucking MMA fighters can say that.
Would he have done a better showing for himself than CM Punk has done in 2 fights?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah, easily.
That's the point. Absolutely. Honestly, hindsight's 2020. But if they had really what they should have done is get fucking Nick Newell a tomato can, fucking you know, a CM Punk type character, a guaranteed win, and then let him headline. You know, get him 2 or 3 wins in the UFC, and we all know, everybody in the know knows eventually he's probably gonna hit his ceiling. Why let the fucker hit his ceiling on fucking the Contender Series? Sign that prick, because he's got a lot of fucking shit attached to his name. Give him Bellator him a little bit. Look what Bellator did with Michael Venom Page, and he's a legit bad motherfucker.
Yeah, he is.
You know what I mean? Like, do that shit with Nick Newell, man. Build him up a little bit. You get him a couple wins, he would have fucking sold all kinds of pay-per-views at some point.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you know eventually he's gonna get mollywopped, but that's not the fucking point. That's for the insiders to know and for the fucking dummies buying at home to figure out.
Yeah, and the thing with me with Newell, he didn't block. Like he every fight he has, his nose ends up smashed because he can't fucking block with that left, with that left arm. So, at least he hasn't. So I thought for sure he's gonna get smashed in this fight. Although he was like a minus 300 favorite or some bullshit like that. It was kind of weird. He did have like
I thought it was minus 165. That's what I saw somebody post.
Oh, I saw someone post 300. I might be wrong. I just saw someone on Twitter post 300. But either way, for him to be a favorite, but he did have a fucking sick ass guillotine he almost pulled off.
It might have opened up. It might have opened up at
Maybe.
300, man, because who knew who the other guy was? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
might have
Right.
opened hella high. People do the research and like, all right, calm down, boys.
Right. I think the only ones that knew about him were like the hardcores. Like I knew who he was. I knew he was a wrestling coach at Team Alpha Male. And then when he got put in that guillotine, I was pretty sure that he was gonna be all right because Team Alpha Male is like guillotine university. Those fuckers, that's like their thing. Is a goddamn guillotine. Yeah. All right. Let's move on here to UFC Hamburg. We were talking about Anthony Smith earlier. Now, are you guys wondering about this? Because I'm wondering about Anthony Smith, whether or not he's for real. Because the reason he's a big name right now, he caught two guys at the end of their careers. You know, that setup for the knee on Rashad Evans. And then, you know, just this last weekend against Shogun Hua. He holds the win again over Hector Lombard, but he got knocked out by Thiago Santos, I think, in February this year. By the way, he's fought 3 times this year already. And he wants a Shogun fight. He wanted the Gustafsson fight 227, but you know, Gus pulled out with a minor injury. So what do you think here about Anthony Smith there, Fred? The new big thing?
You know who Anthony Smith reminds me of, and I said this on the Loudmouth podcast a couple days ago. Anthony Smith reminds me of Mike Perry.
Okay.
A very dangerous guy who on any given night can knock out anybody, but more than likely has a pretty defined ceiling that will probably land him outside of the top 5 more than likely. He also has an advantage going right now in that he's in a very, very shallow division. But still, I like Anthony Smith, but I mean, I kind of feel like if he fights the Gustafsson or possibly even what was the no time prick?
Ozdemir.
Ozdemir, there you go. You know, OSP. I don't think he's going to fare very well against those type characters. Hell, even a Ryan Bader type character, I think, would probably do him in pretty well. So I think he's tough, and I think if you get caught sleeping, he'll fucking knock you the fuck out. But I listen. Don't listen to me. I could be wrong like a motherfucker, but for all of me, he strikes me as a Mike Perry type fighter. Very aggressive, will always be in fun fights. But I don't see him cracking the top 5, let alone fighting for that belt.
Wow,
Jesse, you feel otherwise.
Scathing. I just feel insulted for poor Mike Perry, Mr. Platinum over there. Platinum is evolving. He's evolving. His last fight against Paul Felder was a revelation to me. His ability to actually use a plan in a fight and not to just go out there and attack and get just beaten by the better striker. That was impressive to me. I agree with what Fred is saying. The first iteration of Mike Perry, when Mike Perry first was introduced to the UFC, that guy is just a guy that, you know, he's not going to get better. He's not going to evolve. He's not going to change his camps because he loves partying where he's at. And he looks good, you know, when he's able to knock out these old veterans. But once he gets up, like Fred is saying, up against a Gustafsson, you know, Ozdemir, any of the top level guys, even what was it, the poster boy? What's his name?
Jimmy Manuel.
Yeah, man.
Jimmy Manuel. Yeah, I think even Jimmy Manuel will give him a really tough,
Jimmy Manuel probably
knock him out.
Yeah.
So I think he needs to actually be on a more like Fred said, kind of like a couple more tomato cans. Build Anthony Smith up a little bit. There's not a lot of people in the 205 division. I understand that, but there are gems in there that, you know, the UFC matchmakers can find that'll test him, but won't break him. Test him just enough so he improves his skills and gets better. I think he's got a potential to get better, just like Mike Perry has gotten better. But I think he needs to learn that without losing. Without, you know, Mike Perry, his first loss was against Alan Jouban. Very talented striker, smart individual that knew exactly how to handle that type of fighter. And I think if you put Anthony Smith too fast to the top, that's what's going to happen to him. The only problem is at 205, there's nobody there, so it'll be a wasteland, and he'll just drop out of the no very quickly.
You know who I would actually like to see him fight? Just thinking about it. And I know this is going. I know they don't like to do, you know, winners versus losers, but Gokhan Saki.
Yeah.
No, that's
that actually. And look, it's like for Gokhan, it's like, look, homeboy, you either fucking step up and get yourself a big win, or take your funny ass back to K1. You was a bust like Crow Cop and the most of them.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Fucking, that is funny. Just real quick, couple things on this card. There's only 3 finishes in the entire card.
It's number 5 on the all-time longest events ever, I believe. Number 5.
I'm not surprised.
It's like the first event I've missed in its entirety in a month of Sundays. So that was God shining on me.
I barely made it home for the main event. Like I was out training and doing other shit. So, and then Shogun's done, right? I mean, can we all agree? Like,
Shogun. Oh yeah.
Really? You think so?
Oh, okay. Just based on the performance, not based on that he's older. Based on the performance alone. Like, yeah, he got caught, sure, but come on.
I say he's ripe and ready to join Tito Ortiz and everybody else over at Bellator and get that paper.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Just all jokes aside, that's the only place. I definitely don't want to see him in the UFC no more. At a certain point, it's just not funny. I mean, all jokes, it's not cute. Like he's done.
Yeah, I mean, you get him another guy in his prime who's gonna fuck him up too. It's like, you know, it kind of sucks to see, honestly.
Well, you know, here's the thing, man. I think something weird is starting to happen. You ever be kicking it with motherfuckers and you mention some shit? It'd be like a younger group of motherfuckers and they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like a Fresh Prince from Bel Air, you know what I mean? You drop one of those and they're like, "Who's Will Smith?" It's like,
oh, Jesus.
Who are you people? I think sometimes you get old quickly.
You hang on to
and you don't realize how much shit dies out.
Yeah.
I don't think people like Shogun hold as much weight as they used to.
Right.
MMA has this new breed of fans, these Conor McGregor fans. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people, believe it or not, that low-key started watching this sport because of dude.
Yeah,
if you're one of those millions of fans, you don't really know about Shogun. And it's like a new rap fan that's like, yo, Trippie Redd and motherfucking Tekashi 6ix9ine's lit and Tupac's garbage. You look at a kid like that and you want to smack the taste off their lips.
Really.
Come to find out there's millions of them.
Yeah,
I think there is a little bit of that in MMA where we're like, oh yeah, Shogun, we can still milk that name. I think a lot of people are like, man, fuck Shogun. Who is this guy? Every time I see this guy fight, everybody makes a big deal about it, and he comes in and gets mollywopped. I don't give a shit what he did in '92. Like, get this guy the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Look, I agree with Fred, and I think it's more of the UFC. The UFC is where we are led to believe that it's the best of the best, right?
Right.
It's the cream of the crop. These are the best guys in the world, undisputed. And when you have a Shogun at the top of a card like that, and he gets murdered basically on television for everybody to see, it's not good. But you look at what Bellator is doing with their older, their older guys. Look at what is it, Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz. You have what was it, Dada 5000 or whatever. You have Kimbo Slice. You have all those guys, but they're in right matches. They're not in they're not putting Dada 5000 and some young dude that's gonna knock them out. Right?
But also, as far as a rating standpoint, that's apples and oranges. Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz has yet to prove that they're going to be able to do any real numbers.
Right.
Oh, no.
Dada was this weird cultural phenomenon type deal. I don't think that Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz are going to do numbers like that either. Bellator ain't really blowing down nobody's fucking doors having these senior citizens fight either, to be honest with you.
They're not, but they're holding the ratings that they have. Look at the ratings over the course of the last couple events, even the pay-per-views, the big pay-per-views of the UFC. It's just becoming just this wasteland. Remember, back in the day, 350,000 was minimum. That was the worst pay-per-view ever. 350,000 buys. Now we're at less than 100,000 buys. Now they're like, oh yeah, this wasn't the best card, and we did 120.
Listen, the same thing happened to boxing, though. It's just a star-driven sport now. MMA was sexy for a while. It was the new kid on the block. Everybody wanted to see every event. Those days are definitely over. But if a Conor fights, if a John Jones fights, if Brock Lesnar fights, there are still people in this sport that can get the needle moving. Right. And there's other cats that if they play their cards right could. The style bender, there's a bunch of people that, if things shake out right, could end up being that next new big star. It's just a star-driven sport now. Like we need that name now, just like in boxing. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Triple G and what is it? Triple G and the
Canelo?
Mexican friend Canelo, right?
Yeah.
That's a boxing match.
It was a huge fight.
That'll probably do a couple million buys without Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And as fucked off as boxing is, that's a massive statement. You know what I mean? Like, used to think without Floyd, they weren't going to do shit. I'll be a son of a bitch if they can't still do it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. All right, let's talk about whatever. Go ahead.
No, my counter to that question though, is it going to make the numbers that Floyd Mayweather would make?
What, the Canelo fight?
Yeah, exactly. It's not like
not quite, but it's
right.
Fucking good. I mean, would John Jones do what Conor McGregor will do? No, but he'll do fucking good though. You know what I mean?
I mean, look, you tune into a Mayweather fight when he was fighting. I'm sure I honestly have a feeling he'll fight one more time, but who knows? But you watch a Mayweather fight to see him win or get his ass beat, right? And you never got to see that, by the way. But that's the reason I think a lot of people watch Conor, to see him win or see him get his ass beat. Look, if people don't feel very strong about you, they're not going to fucking tune in and watch you.
I also feel like we can't understate the streaming thing. That's real.
And you know what? And it's huge.
I mean, it's a big deal, dog. Like 5, 6, 8 years ago, when we were getting those 300,000 motherfuckers weren't streaming like they are now, man. Like, you can literally click the wrong link on Twitter and you're getting that shit in fucking 1080p. I think a lot of people, and you know, the economy's low key a little fucked up. Like, ain't nobody got $70 a month to be paying for that fucking shit, man. So a lot of people are probably just look. I would be really curious. What was the one pay-per-view that we just had that was a super great card and it got like 125,000 buys? Was it 226 or whatever? I wonder how many people actually watched that fight. If we could count the streams and all the other shit, like those were the people that paid for it in North America. I wonder how many eyeballs actually watched those fights, though. I think that number would tell a different story.
I think what we're talking about is the losing this whole thing of like you have to pay to watch it, because I think this generation of kids that has grown up, they're very inclined to have free things like, oh, I can stream this, I can watch this, I can just torrent this, you know, I can download this, whatever. Like, this generation isn't that generation that pays for stuff, you know? They're not very keen on paying for stuff. And I think Fred's right. Like, I mean, you go to Snapchat, you go to any kind of like what's the other one? The video streaming on Twitter.
Instagram?
What's that one?
Fuck.
Periscope.
Thank you.
Periscope. You go there and you see like, I don't know, 10, 20 streams where, you know, rich, Middle Eastern guys sitting there with the Tigers showing you the stream that they have. You know, like it's just this generational thing. And I think the UFC is going to have to evolve somehow. Probably, like we've talked about, probably doing what the WWE has done. Just put everything on behind one paywall, and then that's it.
That's where it's headed. And I think they're low-key doing it. They're heading to ESPN now. It's like slow, gradual steps in that direction. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to have less pay-per-views this next upcoming year than they've ever had before.
Yeah.
Thank God. My wallet's going to be happy.
Dude, fucking the thing about the pay-per-views, man, is just that you're like, after you bought quite a few, like, you know, me and Fred, all three of us, I'm sure, I bought our fair share of them. And after a while, when we spend $70 on something and the card sucks, you're thinking twice about the next one. You know what I mean? Like, do I really want to drop $70 on this shit? Or do I want to stream it on Instagram or some shit, you know?
I'm paranoid, bro. When I used to think that the goddamn government was watching everybody's laptop and sending everybody to prison and shit, I ain't clicking links. Now that I realize that half the people on the planet are clicking the links, I'm a little more inclined to just say, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Like, everybody else is clicking. And like, here's the deal, right? I ain't streaming it. Kiss my ass, Jack. I clicked the link. I'll play stupid in court. I didn't know what that was. What you gonna do? Haul 8 million of us in? To the best of my knowledge, only person to get in trouble is the motherfucker who's actually streaming it.
Yeah.
And the bad thing for y'all is he's way smarter than me. And he knows how to fuck around with his IP address, and y'all can't fuck with him. So what you do is take it up the tailpipe. That's a fact. This is
allegedly you're clicking on links and looking at stuff, Fred.
Yeah, all this is alleged. The whole fucking podcast.
Yeah, nothing's proven. Anyway, but It's like when you were a kid and shit, and like you all went to the convenience store and one of you stole candy and you all ran off in different directions. They can't catch us all, baby. Let's just go. You know,
Pretty much. And they can, they're not going to, like,
they're not.
if anything, they're going to try to get those people. But like Jesse said, man, there's Periscope. Goddamn it. What's the little thing that Mighty Mouse be on with all the little twerps playing the games? Twitch. It's a fucking nightmare.
Dude,
I mean, how could you do that?
There was a dude on there pretending to play UFC 3, streaming actual fights, and he's sitting there going, "Oh shit!" Like, okay, so you ever seen a Twitch stream, right? Where you're like on the corner, on the bottom left corner, whatever, is like your face, and it's like a camera on the guy on the Twitch streamer. Right. He's got his fucking PS4 control, whatever the fuck it was, going, "Oh shit, he's getting me." Meanwhile, the real fucking pay-per-view, he's streaming that shit. He got away with that for a while, and then someone snitched on him, but it was fucking amazing. I couldn't believe it was happening. And so good.
That's the problem, man. All bullshit aside, that he's one of probably 10,000 people doing that for every event. Eventually, you're going to find what you're looking for. Some things you can't fight, dog. It's like the music industry, right? All y'all motherfuckers that were selling CDs out there when all this shit happened, Napster and shit, the bands took it rough. The record, but here we sit, and this is the way it goes now, and we consume music in a completely different way. The same thing with pay-per-views and shit. Eventually, and TV in general. Like cable, dude, they're getting out. There's actually a name for people, the cord cutters, bro. It's happening. Pay-per-view has got some kind of balls on them to think that they're going to be the ones that are actually still going to get it. Like, nah, dog. Anything that's on a TV anywhere is getting streamed to somebody now. So y'all might as well just like give up the ghost and try to come at that shit in a different way. Period.
But you need to embrace it. Like back when streaming music first started, like online and shit on iTunes and whatnot, people were like, no, people are going to buy CDs forever. No, they're fucking not. That shit ended quick. And now people aren't even buying shit on iTunes. Now they got like Apple Music or fucking Pandora or Spotify, all these services. I haven't bought a fucking album on iTunes forever. I have that fucking Apple Music fucking subscription. I get whatever I want.
And look, whether it's Spotify, Apple, blase, what you ain't doing is buying CDs because they don't fucking make them no more. It's fucking over.
You gotta take yourself to the fucking Bookmans and shit to get that. What up?
Hey, relax. I still got my albums that I want to buy. So screw you guys.
You still trying to buy the White Album?
Try to build a vinyl collection. So screw you guys. I still like stuff.
And that's one of those like vintage habits. That's cool. But
they sell vinyl still, but like CDs and tapes, you can count them out. They're done, Jack.
Yeah. All right, couple things here in the chat they're talking before we start talking about UFC Calgary this weekend. Somebody was asking about, I want to say it was Connor, right? Oh yeah, Connor asking. This is off topic, or not asking because this is off topic, but Montano getting mauled by Shevchenko. He's talking about the 125 flyweight women, right? And there's a lot of hatred for Montano. I've never seen her dancing, but everyone's shitting on her dancing, saying she's cringeworthy. Is it that bad, Jesse?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. Everybody counting Montano out, you guys are literally spitting in the MMA gods' faces. And watch Montano get in there, kick Shevchenko in the face and knock her out in the first 10, 15 seconds, and you guys are just going to be like, oh, damn.
And then you got to deal with her dancing, whatever that means.
Yep.
By the way, no one beats Betch Correa, an awful dancer. All right, I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Although Fred was ready to smash that either way.
She does got a decent ass.
Fred's
she is the definition.
Yeah.
She's the definition of a butterface.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah. You know what? I'm not gonna get into it because I was about to make fucked up jokes about women. Anyway. And then I end up like Aaron Robbins with the fucking big old fucking smiley face on the anti.
I'm trying to cut down on my chauvinistic pig ways too.
I think it depends on where you say shit. I don't think it matters that if you. I mean, like, I don't know.
Instead of talking about how hideous her face is, I'll just talk about how nice her ass is. So that way I can give her a compliment.
Silver lining, motherfuckers. It's how you live.
Because you're still not able to find the woman, but you know, let's go.
All right. So I haven't heard about this, but I don't know if you guys have. And I have a feeling Jesse probably heard about it before I did. UC saying, I heard the UFC scrapping BT Sport. Shake my fucking head. I pay monthly for BT Sport, and my dad and my brother use it for football and cricket. I use it for MMA, but now I'm gonna have to start paying for pay-per-view bullshit. I did not know they were cutting out BT Sport. Anybody heard about this shit?
BT Sport.
It's basically like the It's British something or other.
It's like European, where they have like
ESPN.
basically, yeah, it's like ESPN over in Europe. Like they have everything, pay-per-views, everything.
But the pay-per-views were free, like part of the package. They're like free.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay extra.
Right. So now the Brits got to pay for the pay-per-views?
Now, like Canadians, Brits, everybody that has BT Sport.
Welcome back, motherfuckers. I'm sorry that I am not sad for y'all, but the fucking gravy train is over, baby. You're paying the fucking ticket too, or skip it, or click the fucking links like the most of us.
Hey, welcome to the alleged streaming community, motherfuckers. We knew you all be here at some point, so welcome. Come in on the streams. UC goes, wow. Fred laughs at our pain.
Listen, I know you guys. You guys gotta watch them late, but you've been getting the fucking gravy train for a long time, Jack.
Yeah, man. Fuck.
You know, I should probably calm down. English is probably going to put a fucking curse on me for that little tirade I just went on. Fucking my tomorrow's probably going to wake up with my pancreas hurting.
Yeah, he call you a twat, make your pancreas hurt.
Little mouthy twat.
You fucking twat.
No, you know how he would get you, Fred? Your beard and your hair would fall out. That's how he would get
I'm
you.
already starting to get white hairs in this motherfucker, Jack.
Dude,
I see like 4 of them. I might just shave the cocksucker.
Yeah, if I do, I swear to God, like when I let my beard get crazy, this whole fucking right side is all white. Just this side though, not the other side at all. I'm like, what in the fuck is going on? No, dude. Andy would show up and take your fucking hair like, I believe this belongs to me.
I'll wake up with a buzz cut.
Yeah, he'd be like, I can't. You gonna pay what you owe. That's what happens. Oh fuck. All right, but let's talk about this weekend's card, man. UFC Calgary, headlined by Dustin Poirier and Eddie Alvarez, rightfully fucking so. That's the fight that should have been happening already. So it's about goddamn time they got it done. So Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, co-main of Jose Aldo and Jeremy Stevens, Joanna Jędrzejczyk against Tisha Torres, also on the main card. And the main card kicks off with Alexander Hernandez taking on Olivier Aubin-Mercier. That's that's a good main card. It's on Fox, by the way. It's UFC on Fox, and the prelims on Fox. So we should be like, everyone should be cool with like having not deal with like FS2 and shit. In the early prelims on Fight Pass is 5 bouts. Devin Powell takes on Alvaro Herrera. Then we got Randa Marcos taking on Nina Ansaroff. Dustin Ortiz against Mateus Nicolau. Alexis Davis, still in the UFC, didn't know, against Caitlin Chukagian, and John McDessie against Ross Pearson, which to me is low-key a bad motherfucking fight.
Good card. Really good card.
Fucking solid cards, good cards. One of these, fucking set up a barbecue, bring your friends over, and fucking shoot the shit with some fights. Let's talk about, I didn't even talk about the Fox prelims, my bad. Holy fucking name, bro. Gadzi Murad Antigulov against Ion Kutalaba. Then Cajun Johnson's back taking on Islam Makhachev. Hakeem Dawodu against Austin Arnett. And Jordan Means back against Alex Morano, which I also think is a great fucking fight as your Fox prelim feature bout. So, but let's talk about just a few of the fights here. Mainly the top 3 ones on the main card. Joanna Jędrzejczyk taking on Tisha Torres. So we're talking about the former strawweight champion. Lost twice to Rose Namajunas. We all thought she was going to go 225, right? 125, my bad. We all thought she was going to go 125, sticking around the strawweight. Fred, good idea, bad idea, or should she have moved up?
Now listen, I am wrong about 85% of the time in situations like this, so most of you should just bet against whatever I'm about to say. But I have always been extremely underwhelmed by Tisha, the small brisk of wind, Torres. She is not no tornado in my book. I've never been uber impressed. I think Jędrzejczyk is gonna beat the fucking dog piss out of her just because she lost twice to Rose. And I don't think we need to get all in an uproar. I think JJ is going to come back and look fantastic in this fight. I think Tisha Torres is in way over her head. And I am probably wrong about that, but we'll see what the fuck happens.
Yeah. Jesse, what do you think about that? Joanna Jędrzejczyk, I thought she would have moved up to 125. I really did. Instead, she's sticking at 115 for whatever reason. And maybe the thought of Shevchenko being champion possibly soon there is like part of the reason. But what are your thoughts there, Jesse?
I think everything Fred said is definitely something you should not take into consideration. Obviously, you go opposite of what everything Fred Kirby says. And no, I agree with Fred. I've never been impressed with Tisha Torres, and she's just hasn't looked good at any point in time in her career, in my opinion. She's beaten some people, but it's just never impressive. Her style of fighting is very grinding, more wrestling. And I think JJ is going to have the answer to everything that Tisha Torres is going to throw at her, and she's just going to probably get knocked out. I think JJ knocks her out second round, maybe.
Damn. All right, yeah. Look, here's my thoughts on it. And again, I'm the same way. Tisha's never been I've never been overwhelmed by her, right? As far as watching her fights or anything. I think she's a solid fighter. I just don't think she's like a championship level fighter, but we've been proven wrong before. But Joanna's she's got 5 inches of height on her. She's got a 5-inch reach advantage on her. Try and come in and take her down if you want to. You're gonna be eating jabs all fucking night long. And Joanna's jab is like a fucking stiff arm. It's fucking, it's a tough one to do. So oh god damn it, Joey. Joey Tremendous says, I could turn Tisha straight. She is so hot.
Damn, Joey, where the fuck are you from, Jack? Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I've tussled with nastier broads than Tisha, but if you think she's so hot, I got some people I should introduce you to.
Joey, bro.
Joey's a gangster. I'm telling you, that guy.
Oh my god.
Don't get me wrong. I'd throw her the snake. But all things considered, I don't want to turn her.
Yeah, he's talking about turning her. Hey, you know what? Do you, bro? Do you? So we're all picking Joanna in this fight, right?
Pretty much, man.
Yeah. Listen, man. Quickly, just before we wrap up on this, Joanna lost twice to Rose.
Yeah.
Back up just a little bit and picture this matchup before those 2 losses. Who on earth is picking Tisha Torres to even, not get, you know what I mean? I don't think those 2 losses should really change that perspective that fucking much. It's still basically that fight. So,
yeah. No, that's a good point. It is basically that same fight, yeah. All right. Let's talk about the former long-time featherweight champion, Jose Aldo, taking on Jeremy Stephens. Jeremy Stephens on the come up. Jose Aldo, basically on the back end of his, or at the end of his career here. He's been talking about it too. He's like, I'm almost done, whatever. And so now we get these 2 fighting. This should be a really good fight, right? What are your thoughts on it, Fred?
Listen, I think it's definitely going to be a really good fight. I don't know why. And again, I'm probably fucking wrong. But is it not just me, or do y'all see Jose throwing a leg kick and getting thunderstruck with an overhand right? I don't know. It's probably not going to happen because it seems so likely to me. They dance around for a little bit. Jose tries to throw one in, and Jeremy mollywops him. Down goes Jose. We're talking about him going to Bellator, and bigger than shit, the fucking little heathen's a top contender. That's the way I see the fight going. It seems way too predictable to happen like that. I know that Jose Aldo is who he the fuck it is.
Yeah.
But Jeremy Stephens can crack. And I feel like he ain't going to be doing a whole lot else. He's going to be waiting to throw his fucking hands. I got to imagine they think the leg kick's going to come. I know Jose's great at it, but he's also getting a bit long in the tooth. What's the first thing to go with age? Speed.
Time.
He tries to fucking throw one of those fucking leg kicks and it ain't as fast as it was 7 years ago, and he gets fucking thunderstruck right over the top of the right hand. That's all I see happening when I think about this fight, man. It pains me to say that, but that's what I see.
And I'm with you on that, man. I think Jose Aldo's, everyone used to fear his leg kicks, right? Ever since he sent Faber on that airplane, not being able to walk and shit. And you see all those people and whatnot, but we haven't seen that from him in forever. Shit, against Frankie Edgar, he used them solid, and then he just coasted the rest of the fight. Most of his fights are like that. He blows up for the first round and a half, 2 rounds, and then he just coasts, right? But we haven't seen him and Raider just basically took words out of my mouth. Raider says, I think Aldo isn't hungry for it anymore either. That's what I'm saying. That's basically what I'm thinking. I think he's in here, fight, get his paycheck, move on. It's not like he's trying to get a title shot again, So I think, meanwhile, Jeremy Stevens is all about throwing heavy leather and fucking ending fights and getting paid and trying to get the next big fight. That's hunger.
Right.
So, Jesse, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. I think the biggest thing is we have to remember that Jose Aldo's style has changed because of his leg injuries. That's why he doesn't throw any kicks anymore. He's very, very just a changed man from when, like you said, Eddie, when he was young and hungry, he was vicious. He would just destroy people. Ever since he became a multi-time champion, that hunger has just gotten away. I forget who's the famous boxer that said that you can't be basically you can't be a killer if you're sleeping in silk sheets. Was it Tyson?
Oh man, I'm gonna Google
Sounds
that.
kind of like. But anyway, basically, it's like once you're at the top for so long, you just don't have that hunger anymore. It just gets kind of just killed out of you, basically. And like what was it? Raiders said, he just hasn't been the same guy. He's not as hungry, and I think Jeremy Stevens is going to put him just a beating. He's going to give him such a bad beating.
Yeah.
I don't see this being a good fight for anybody. I think this is going to be a sad fight.
Marvin Hagler said, I don't know if this is the one you're talking about. Marvin Hagler said, it's tough to get out of bed to do road work at 5 a.m. when you've been sleeping in silk pajamas.
That might be it.
It might be a different one. Who knows? Regardless, great point. All right. So we're all picking Stevens,
Plus, remember that Novo Uniao does not have their captain anymore. He retired.
Who?
The head coach of Novo Uniao.
Oh, yeah. I remember reading that story a few months ago. That's right.
Panaris?
Yeah. No. Is it Panaris?
Yeah, I think it was Panaris.
I think it was. Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. All right. So we're all picking Stevens here. Moving on to the main event of the evening, Eddie Alvarez against Dustin Poirier in the rematch. You guys remember last time Dustin Poirier had Eddie Alvarez fucking on ice skates, just fucking falling backwards. Then Eddie Alvarez hurts, Dustin, and then lands an illegal knee. But I think he still got the W for that fight, right?
There was no contest, right? Or no, I think he did get the W. Yeah.
I think Eddie Alvarez got the W for that, and a lot of people had a problem with that. And Dustin Poirier, obviously number one on that list, finally gets the rematch in the main event, UFC Calgary. Look, if the fight goes the same way it went the first time, it's gonna be a fucking firefight, right? It's kind of a who knows gonna win. But I'm picking Dustin Poirier here, man. I think Dustin Poirier is gonna come up, especially once he left that 145 division, start cutting weight to like that ridiculous, fucking rate. Now he's 155. I think it's his time, man. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, I could kind of see that, but I also think that Eddie Alvarez is also a guy who's looking for redemption, seeing as how he got embarrassed by losing his title, in a big stage, didn't look himself in that fight. And I think he's kind of been grinding a way to get back there and kind of prove himself again, being the most, quote unquote, the most violent fighter, quote unquote, the underground king. So I think Eddie Alvarez is going to take this fight. I think it's going to be violent, but I don't think it's going to go that long. I think it's going to be maybe 2 rounds, maybe at most.
The way they were swinging the first time, I wouldn't be surprised that was 100% spot on. Fred, who are you picking?
It's such a toss-up. I gotta pick Dustin Poirier. I think he's I think he's the better fighter. I do think that Eddie Alvarez is probably tougher, a bit more gritty, and kind of has that fucking can surprise you and finish you a bit more abruptly. But overall, I think Dustin Poirier is the better fighter, and as long as he doesn't get caught with nothing crazy or start getting like overwhelmed in the later rounds, it should be his fight to lose.
No, and the thing with Dustin Poirier is because he's been like up and down so many times, he's finally on the come up again. But that fight against Eddie Alvarez, the way it went down, man, that was rough to deal with, right? And immediately everyone started calling for it. I don't know. It was weird how this fight had to come about. So what are you gonna do? All right. That's gonna do it for as far as the topics we have written down and everything. Anything else you guys want to throw out here?
Nah, I think that's it. That does it for the fucking most of the major topics.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Joey Tremendous says, "Is Alvarez's wife gonna scream the entire fight? She does every fight, Joey."
Yep, she most certainly is. Every Eddie Alvarez fight I've ever seen, she's there well and away.
You gotta tune that shit out, Joey. You're just gonna have to just tune it out, man.
The real ass bitch, though.
Deal with it. Yeah, hey, you know what? Yeah, that's what you can say about her. She's ride or die, 100%, and all the time. And you got to hand it to her for that. That being said, every time any other fight starts fighting, the shut her the fuck up is like a trending topic on fucking Twitter. Okay,
True.
that's the thing.
About it.
You know what I mean? So, let me check the headlines here. So, last minute headlines, nothing really. Oh, other than hold up, real quick. Other than Derek Brunson tweeting out last pretender at Stylebender. So, what's his name? Israel Adesanya.
Adesanya.
Yeah. Adesanya. There you go. So this is a tweet. The last pretender at Stylebender. What's up? You talk that loose lip stuff to Ariel, talking about wanting to fight me. I accept. November 3rd, UFC 230. Well, excuse me. November 3rd, UFC 230. I sent you a message a day ago. What are you hibernating? TKO via slam coming. You'll be humble after this one. First of all, I'm down to watch that fight. Second of all the comments into that tweet are like, rip, bro, you're fucked and shit like that. Like everyone shit at Derek Brunson. So
can I get a quick opinion from Fred Kirby here about that whole Dana White Brendan Schaub thing?
Oh yeah.
What's going on with him? I've been out of the loop, boys. Remember, I've been on vacation.
So Stylebender. Okay, let me back up even more. Brendan Schaub had he does his podcast on YouTube all the time and shit, and on HBO I think he's on. He said he was talking about cooking sake and how like kickboxers aren't like made for like MMA, but he was talking about Goken sake, right? And Stylebender watched it and thought that Schaub was talking about him. So Stylebender put it out, right?
So he saw the clip, and because Brendan Schaub was saying all kickboxers, he was talking specifically, but he was saying, oh, kickboxers come over to MMA and people think they're going to be the greatest thing ever. They're not that great, blah, blah, blah. So Stylebender put up a video with a bunch of people yawning and, just a little meme type thing where he was like, oh, whatever, Brendan. And then in the comments section, go ahead, Eddie, pick it up from there.
All right, so in the comment section, Dana White, actually, let me pull this shit out because it was fucking great, okay?
So the greatest white knight of ever, Dana White, came to Adesanya's rescue here.
Yeah, so Dana White gets in the comments. For some reason, he gets in the comment section. It doesn't make any sense. But oh shit, Brendan Schaub explained the Escobar brothers post. Huh. Sorry, I'm going to have to read that in a second. But what the fuck? Where the hell is the...
So basically, Dana White said...
Go ahead.
Basically, he said, "Don't listen to some idiot that went 6 and 7."
I got you. So okay, this is his comment. He goes, "Such a fucking tool. What the fuck does this idiot know?" He's talking about Schaub. What the fuck does this idiot know about the sport or the business? At Stylebender, for you to be listening to one word from this moron is a waste of your time. Guy went 6 and 5 in the UFC. The only thing he could teach you is how to get KO'd. Tune idiots like this out." To which Schaub replied, "Whoa, look who's got a break from folding Ronda's laundry to jump on Instagram. Bravo, sir. He's right, Stylebender. What do I know? Listen to the bald fat guy who's never been in a fight in his life. Do that." So then Schaub, and do you know if he's still on his Instagram? Because I'd rather get the actual post.
Yeah, it was. That's where he put it. He wrote something in notes, screen captured it and put it on his Instagram. So go ahead and read that.
It's gonna take a minute, but here it is. So this is Brendan Schaub. And Schaub, in every show he's done since then, he said, "It took me 3 minutes to write this on the plane, and then I posted it." So he goes, "This is hilarious. Yes, Joe Rogan, one of my best friends, has played a significant role in my post-fight career, no doubt. You're right about that, DW. 2 TV shows, sold out worldwide comedy tour, 2 successful podcasts, and just booked my first major movie. Super grateful. However, if it weren't for the Fertitas loaning your ass millions of dollars to invest into an idea that wasn't yours from the start, you wouldn't be shit. How's it feel to know once the real businessman / brains left, the UFC has been a shell of itself with you at the forefront? You tried it all. CM Punk experiment, begging Brock to come back, and praying at night for a Connor text. Tough job to do without Lorenzo holding your hand, making sure you don't mess it all up. Can't feel good. You'd be a cardio kickboxing coach in Boston in your late 40s, hoping to grab a ticket to my stand-up front row if Lorenzo Fertitta didn't save your ass. Also, this is no way Escobar brothers should talk to one another. Last warning." So that's what went down. And Dana White hasn't said shit since then about it.
Oh, no. Fred's dead.
Did Fred freeze? Fred.
I don't see him anymore. Oh, no.
What did you think about it there, Jesse, the whole thing?
Okay. So you know how much I love and hate Brendan at the same time.
Yeah.
I think Brendan is such a hypocrite in the sense that he always talks about that he doesn't understand people that get on the comments section and talk smack to other people in the comments. He says he doesn't know anybody. He's not friends with anybody that does that, yet he does it. You know what I'm saying? Plus the fact that I understand him getting upset about, being personally attacked by Dana White, but also he should have been the bigger man. Number one. Number two, now he put somebody else on blast that doesn't deserve to be put on blast. When he put out the dirty laundry of the Eskimo brothers, And I think the last thing about the whole thing is that Brendan Schaub would be nowhere. He would not have a career at all if he wasn't given an opportunity by the UFC, Dana White and all that stuff to be even on The Ultimate Fighter, given a chance at a career and all that stuff. So for him to go back at Dana White and lash out like this, I think it's immature of him. And I think this should have ended right when Dana White wrote something down. Brendan should have been the bigger man and, just walked away from it, let it simmer, maybe screen capped it and been, and that's it, like no comment on it, just to show that he's the bigger man. But everything else he's done just stupidly. Fred.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, my shit went out for a minute. I think I get the gist though. I did hear a little bit about this, and I get the general gist of it. Listen, here's the reality. I guess with Brendan trying to make that big fucking like tirade at Dana about the Fertitas, how much money is Dana worth now?
I don't know, shitload.
Oh, over $1 billion?
Oh, you think over $1 billion?
And
probably.
And how much is Brendan worth?
No idea.
Maybe like $1 million, maybe.
At the end of the day, money talks and bullshit walks, which means in this certain instance, Brendan's walking. So it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like I could sit here and be like, yeah, President Trump, you wouldn't be shit, Jack, unless your daddy wouldn't have gave you that first fight. So what? He's the fucking president now, and I'm an ass fuck loser. So
yeah, did you freeze again?
Like that part of it is true. You did get a lot of love from being Joe Rogan's friend because you're not actually a great comedian. If you did sell out shows, it's not because you're that funny. You're the ex-fighter who's really good friends with fucking Joe Rogan. You're pretty decent at talking about MMA, I suppose. But other than that, you ain't breaking down no walls either, big dog. So, cue fucking Kendrick Lamar, be humble, Kendrick or Brendan. Like, you don't need to be making big paragraph sentiments about the things you're doing and what Dana White's not doing. Dana White just sold a piece of a business for $4.5 billion. You'll never sell anything for $4.5 million.
Yeah, look, I didn't really care for it. I just got a good fucking laugh out of the whole thing. That's what I take from it. I laughed my fucking ass off. What up?
One last thing. What do you think about the whole Deontay Wilder thing? Where he was... Oh, go look at Brendan's Twitter. I think it's on Twitter.
Oh,
so he got into it. I think... I don't remember if I'm going to get it right, but it's either Deontay Wilder. Who's the other guy that he's... Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, Joshua.
Okay, who's the one that he's really good friends with? Is it Joshua?
He's who? Brendan Schaub?
Yeah.
He's friends with Wilder.
Yeah.
Wilder. Okay. So Joshua's manager went online and said that, whoever, Brendan's friends with, they had contracts signed for the big fight, Wilder, Joshua, blah, blah, and that the other team is not coming through with signing the contract, blah, blah, blah. So Brendan gets on Twitter and says, oh, according to my sources, you're full of shit, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that now Brendan's trying to get involved in boxing negotiations over here, trying to sound like a big reporter. My thing is, I understand. I'm a fan of the Fighter and the Kid podcast. I have it on my phone. I'm going to listen to it later tonight. The thing that annoys me is that Brendan keeps trying to sound like or be like he's a media guy, like he's trying to break news to people. He's trying to, don't listen to the promoter because, I have the inside scoop. Dude, like, you're listening to one side of the story. You're listening to the guys from Showtime, the guys that pay your check. Of course, they're going to tell you the story from their side. Right.
fuck.
Like this poor guy. Like I feel bad for Brendan because he thinks he's becoming this media, darling. He thinks he's got all these fans. He thinks he's got all this pull in the sport. He's even telling people that he's the one that told Brian Ortega to not take a fight, and that he's the one that influenced that whole deal so he wouldn't take a fight and get a raw deal in the end. Like, this guy is so up his own ass that like it's just starting to really be annoying. But anyway, if you can find it, Eddie, it's good entertainment to see him get chewed out by I think Wilder's manager or something.
I'll check it out later.
Nice.
All right. Anything else you guys want to bring up?
Nope.
Listen to Fred Kirby's podcast that just dropped today. It's awesome. And Fred, please make a list of all the songs you guys have done on the show so I can Spotify all those and listen to them, because some of them are pretty dope.
Okay, cool. For sure, I will do that. Yeah. Jim City
and save the book
podcast on SoundCloud. Okay, yeah. Save the book. Gary will have that for sure.
Shit. All right, boys. Let's take a check of the headlines. Other than Renzo Gracie fighting for ONE FC, Jesus Christ, that's not good. I mean, look, Renzo Gracie's a bad motherfucker. I don't doubt this dude at all. But man, I'm gonna be watching like this, like fuck. So, Other than that, Jesse, you have any questions or anything for this week?
No, not this week, man. Fred stole my thunder, but go listen to that podcast, and it's a pretty good deep dive on Fred and his friends over there.
All right, definitely check it out. I have an early morning tomorrow for work, so I'm definitely gonna have that on my earbuds. All right, y'all. Shout out to UC Raider. Who else was here? Joey was here. Connor Ryan was here. Fucking Joey talking about turning t-shirts straight. Come on, bro. But anyone that fucks with you guys is the shit. Appreciate you guys tuning in, watching. Shout out to RepTheWarriors.com, get us some gear, SpicePros.com, and like Jesse said, Jesus podcast. It's the shit. Y'all need to listen to it. For the local Ohio boys. All right, guys. For myself, Fred Kirby, and the whole team, everybody that fucks with us, y'all the shit. Y'all have a good night. Good night, Wilshire.